Hey everyone. Today we are going to dive into distance healing. How does distance healing work? Because I know that that's something that's really hard to get your head around sometimes, where we're in this Western world and things are just so like that they have to be in a box or black or white, but a lot of things don't operate in that black and white. In fact, most of life happens in the gray area. So I just want to bridge that gap of understanding and belief to help you understand this better of how distance healing works and how this might benefit you at this time in your life, whether that's a hypnotherapy session or a Reiki healing or just a energy healing or clearing. It absolutely can be done over distance. And my name's Derrick Ivey. I am a board certified clinical hypnotherapist, researcher, and intuitive. And so, yeah, let's get right into this distance healing. There's a lot of resistance as far as distance healing goes. There's a lot of people that are very doubtful and very skeptical about distance healing. And I was the same way, actually. Years ago, I really did not understand how this possibly could work. And I remember in my early 20s, I was sitting in a natural food store parking lot and I was having a crisis, which I had a lot of those at that time in my life. And I was out of options, and so I was willing to try anything. And I remember calling this psychic healer up on the phone and they were like, well, we can get you in on the phone, but not in person until next week. But I really wanted the session, so I did it over distance. And that definitely was a very, it was an experience that really stood out because it did change my belief system forever. And I knew there was something to this distance healing, that it wasn't just somebody blowing smoke up my butt, right? So I remember experiencing in that session, I could literally feel the energy worker as they were working on different parts of my energy field. And at that time, I had no clue that this is what I would be called to do for a living, is to help people in this way. But I'm so blessed and so glad that it did end up that way, because this really is the work that I love with all of my heart. And it really helps so many people. So then I got into meditation and didn't really think too much about energy healing or distance healing or anything of that nature. Years later, a couple, 3, 4 years later, when I was attuned to Reiki, my Reiki master and I did a distance healing when I was initiated into level 2 of Reiki. And that's, for those of you that don't know, level 2 of Reiki is about bringing the healing into the world, doing distance healing, whereas level 1 is mastering the hands-on healing, the self-healing, kind of dabbling into helping others in person, but level 2 is about distance. So one of the parts of my initiation into level 2 was that my master and I did a distance healing, and we did it for one of my friends who had a sick cat at the time. This poor kitty was in the vet having all kinds of stomach issues, and there was, I can't remember what all else was going on, but I do remember that the kitty had not eaten for several days. And that day that we did the distance healing, at about the same time that we did the distance healing, the kitty finally ate and began to improve. And since that day, I have seen so many experiences of miracle shifts where it really makes no logical sense, but the healing occurred. Um, so there's no doubt in my mind whether distance healing works or doesn't work. I know in my heart and in every fiber of my being that distance healing is absolutely effective. But I did want to talk about some other ways of looking at this and some other ways of breaking this down just to help you understand it in a deeper way and maybe suspend some of your doubt for the time of this video and just have an open mind about these concepts and ideas, knowing that having that open mind is a component of a successful distance healing. Now, at the time of my level 2 Reiki initiation and attunement, there was not so much any doubts that I had at that point. Like, I was like, okay, this really does work, and I can feel the energy flowing through me because I'm a conduit of that healing energy. But it was this really, really deep sense of wonder, like, how does this work? And I had so many questions, and it felt like it broke my brain. I could not understand how this could possibly work. So I think you're really going to like some of the ways that I'm going to put this for you to do your own exploration and your own getting to know this for yourself and where you stand with understanding distance healing. So let's start first by talking about the human energy field, the aura. So we all exist within that goes way beyond our physical body, an energy field that is kind of egg shaped that's around us. And the energy that is closer to us is our current energy or more recent energy that we're holding on to, more recent things. And then towards the exterior layers of the auric egg, that's where a lot of information is stored from our past lives, from early childhood in this lifetime. And it's kind of held in an energetic membrane around us, right? And so even just tapping into a client's essence, that brings forward all of this information to be read, to be healed, to be transformed or transmuted. But our body works through a vibrational language. So really, our physical bodies are an expression of this energy and these frequencies and vibrations. So they absolutely are going to influence the health of our physical body. And I've heard it put before that it's not so much that we our mind is within our body. It's more that our body is within our mind because our mind is a part of this auric energy field that is around us. So when I'm doing a distance healing, when I'm tapping into someone's energy, it's almost as if I am pulling this book off the shelf, right? And so I can open the book and I can see what is on all of these different pages. The same goes for with distance healing. So it's almost like pulling that book off the shelf. You're getting this information. The information is here. And through that process of getting the information and validating the client's experience and transforming that energy, they feel better because a lot of these things that are in this energy field are unconscious. So when we're doing a distance healing, we are shining the light of consciousness onto all of these programs. So then they're not just operating in the dark, taking up energetic bandwidth in our energy field. They're actually, there's hope for healing it, there's hope for shifting it, right? So that's a huge part of this. All creation is light. All creation is light. Everything, absolutely everything, is part of an electromagnetic spectrum. Everything that is happening in this giant field that is one, there's no separation. And this has been proven by quantum physicists that, and they call it the God molecule, but it shows that we're all connected through this one life energy field, and that one life energy field is comprised of just pure light. I am light. You are light. My hat is light. My sweater is light. Everything is light at varying frequencies and vibrations. So, and you can call this big energetic field many different things. You could even call it God or source, is how some people like to refer to this. The quantum field, the source field, ether. And I think that the most popular thing to that people call this is God or source. But what would be more accurate to describe this as is ether. And ether is pure potentialized energy. All of creation is comprised of this pure potentialized energy. And all that is, all that was, all that will ever be, those records or those programs are stored in this ether, in this quantum field. And whenever there's a change in anything, whether that's a change in your thought, whether that's a change in your reality, whether that's a change in your belief systems, whether that's a change physically outside and the weather changes, that's a change in the ether. And everything is connected to everything else. There, we can't get, not be. We are part of this ether. We are part of this quantum field. And so all of those changes happen instantly to this ether, to this whole that all of this makes up. And tiny amounts of the ether show us a lot of information, almost like computer records. So if you think about, I used to work at a medical billing office, and the IT guys, they told me that they can record every single keystroke of the computers, and they know everything that has happened ever on the computers, whatever. So the same goes for this ether. It contains information of all that is, all that was, and all that will ever be in this etheric field. So the body is inside of the mind, not the other way around. So in our energy field, we have different layers of consciousness, different layers, different energetic bodies, if you will. So if you think about one of those Russian nesting dolls, how all of them are stacked together and one inside of the other, it's very similar to our energy bodies, with the exception of that our physical body, which is in the middle, that is given code from the preceding energetic body. So we have like our emotional body, our etheric template body, and all of that. So it gives information to the next one, and that's what that expression is comprised of. So if you are wanting to make a change in your life, then making those changes in the energetic body is going to be really effective. And then you're going to reflect that in your physical body. So if you're holding all of these beliefs that, you're not healthy, then those were all caused from this etheric field. And, often there's energy healers are able to pinpoint energetic blockages, restriction, things of that nature in this etheric field long before it turns into a disease in the physical body. But also, even if there is a disease process happening in the physical body, it can be reversed through these the same way that it was created. So think about all of the other things that are in your life, and think about how infinite you really are. Think about all of the memories that come into your awareness. All of those are not coming from nowhere. They're coming from this etheric field. They're coming from these records. You might have heard the term Akashic records, right? And that's what it's referring to, is these records that are stored in this divine mind. So think about watching TV, being on the computer. If you pull your cell phone out, where does the picture on that cell phone come from? Like, and where does your electricity, how does that work? It's like we all accept that these things work, and distance energy healing is the same way. Um, we don't have to understand it to benefit from it. And we could go really deep into the science and figure out how the TV does what it does, how the cell phone does what it does, but it's not going to prevent us from watching TV or being on our phone if we don't know what's going on there. So the same goes with energy healing. And so when you are reading a book, you're giving your attention, you're putting your consciousness on the material that's in that book, and you're absorbing that. And also, when you're watching TV, you're giving your consciousness to what you watch. So when you're recalling a memory, you're putting your consciousness on that packet of information and bringing that forward to view. So when a distance energy healer is doing a healing or is doing a clearing or reading your energy, that's what they're working with, is they have learned how to get rid of all the resistance of connecting to that energetic field. And they're pulling that information, they're pulling that book off of the shelf, if you will, and then they're reading that. So there's actually an enormous amount of research out there that proves that distance healing absolutely works. There's not a lot of science out there around how it works, but there's a lot of really well done, well documented studies that say, yes, distance healing absolutely works. And but the problem is, especially in Western society, is even if there is some really good research, or even if there is some really good, really tangible information, it gets pushed away and ignored because most people don't understand how it works. Most people don't have an open mind to allow it to work. And really, I would just say that that is their loss. They are missing out on a lot of the benefits that they would be able to have if they were more open and receptive to this energetic healing. So I teach a 6-month energy healing and hypnosis program to practitioners, and I teach you everything that you need to know to be a very successful energy healer and hypnotist in the quantum realm. And this is very deeply healing work. It's shamanic type work. It goes deep. It's not for the faint of heart. It's only really for those that are really ready to look at all facets of their experience, and they're ready to heal those things in themselves first before bringing this work out into the world to heal. But we've taught quite a few people these techniques and they've had really good results. But in that program, we are doing a research study, and this study is going to have control groups. We're going to do distance healing versus in person healing. And we're just going to get really curious and look at what are the benefits? What are people experiencing from using our methods over distance? So, if you have an open mind and you receive an energy healing session over distance from an experienced practitioner, you're absolutely going to benefit, and you're absolutely going to see some result happening in your life. But you do have to have that open mind, because your doubt is an energy of resistance, and that takes up energetic bandwidth that actually blocks you from fully opening up to that experience and receiving the energy that we're sending to you to heal. Now, if you get a distance healing session with an unseasoned practitioner or someone who really has not developed their intuition to a great extent, then you may not have that great of a result. So I definitely encourage you to, if you want to try distance healing, book an appointment with someone like me, or we have other QSM healers on my website at dgtwellness.com. There's a lot of other great energy healers in the world that can help you. And there's not only one way to heal over distance, but I definitely recommend that you find someone that you really trust and you feel in your gut that they know what they're doing and what they're talking about, because that's going to be really important for you finding the right energy healer for you, is finding someone that really resonates with your energy, because there does need to be some level of energetic compatibility and trust that is between you and your healer. And it's definitely worth a try. And especially in this day and age and everything that is going on our planet right now, we all need to find something that really nourishes us and helps us and that works for us, especially during these very intense times energetically. And especially if you have an issue in your life, whether it's mental or physical or spiritual, and you've already been to Western medicine doctors, psychologists, therapists, and really nothing has, whatever the condition in your life is, has not really responded well, it's definitely worth a try setting up an appointment with an energy healer, because they're going to have a holistic view of you, which means they're going to be looking at you as a whole, as an energetic whole, as a whole human. And we have many different facets to ourselves as human beings. So definitely make sure that this is someone that is going to be able to provide that expanded viewpoint of you, and you'll be surprised how much you will benefit from this. So, yeah, that I think that is a pretty good start to explain how distance healing works, and maybe gave you some ideas on how you can utilize distance healing in your own life. But please comment below. I want to hear your thoughts, your experiences with distance healing. How do you relate to this? How do you interpret distance energy healing? And what have your experiences been with energy healing and hypnosis, not only distance, but also in person? So that's all for today. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us to get this content out to more souls that need to hear this type of material. And also like the video, comment, share with anyone else who you think may benefit. And have such a great day. We'll talk soon.